Hey, welcome to the Paul Cruz Sales Agency. This is part two of a two-part series about are you examining your business? And I hope you watched the first part. I hope it was helpful to you. I appreciate those who commented on it and who actually subscribed to my channel. I do thank you and I do appreciate your support. Now, in this part two that you're going to watch, I'm going to get into what I call the nuts and bolts of the examination of your business. Okay, we're going to talk about examining your people. Okay, that's important because, as you got to have the right people in the right position so that they can succeed and so that your business can produce the best quality services and products for your prospects that eventually will become customers, right? I'm going to talk about values and principles that I examine for myself, that I examine for my business. Because one thing I've learned is you can't be different at home than you are in business because your character is your character. Your values are your values. So your business is determined by your personal values. That's just the way it is. We're going to talk about our word and our character. Why is that so important? And how it's lacking today in business and in society and in our personal life. And we're going to talk about leadership. What is leadership? Why you have to examine if you're a leader or not and what the real essence of a leader is. And also we're going to talk about vision because guess what, guys? Without vision, nothing happens. Without vision, people perish, right? Because we all want to be part of something, and it's up to us, entrepreneurs, business owners, to create a vision that people want to participate, people want to be part of, because everyone wants to be part of a winning team. Everyone wants to be part of something successful. They don't just want to be fans and just looking from the outside in. They want to be inside. They want to be part of it. It's your job to examine that vision to making sure that the people that are supposed to participate in this vision are there and being productive. Does that make sense? So buckle up, put on your belt, focus on what I share with you, take it, run with it, apply it, and watch your business grow. Before we go into the video, do me a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash the like button, share your comment, hit the subscription button below, and also tap the notification. Now for the introduction. Welcome to the Paul Cruz Sales Agency, where sales do happen. I'm excited. I hope you enjoyed part one. This is part two. We're going to get into the engine, of examining our business. I think these last five or these next five, examining these parts are going to be crucial to the growth of your business, to the value of your business, but more importantly, the value of your people. Because the bottom line is this: without people, we don't have a business, because business is about relationships. Does that make sense? So before we dig into part two, do me a favor, smash the like button, share your comments after the video or during the video. Let me know what your thoughts are. Also, hit the subscription button below and tap that notification so you can be aware of the next series coming of, getting back to basic. That's my mindset for the next 2 months. Just getting back to business basic and sales basic fundamental so that we can all prosper. We can all grow our business so that we can all increase our value. So I want to thank you for your support and spending your time with my channel or on my channel. All right, so let's get into part two. Now, part two is and it's very important that we really take this serious, and we got to be objective when we start to examine these particular parts of our business, because if we don't, there's going to be a lot of trouble that you could avoid that you're not going to avoid because you didn't examine it and did something about it. For me, I'm a firm believer it's easier to avoid a problem by anticipating it than ignoring it. Getting in that problem and now trying to get out is even more difficult, right? And the reason why we ignore it a lot of times is because of human nature. We think we could solve everything, and A lot of times we just want to ignore the facts that are there because our ego, our pride, and just we're so caught up into the nuances of that. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful to you. Hopefully you can really be objective to this. The number one thing that we have to examine besides ourselves as the leader, as the entrepreneur, and as the business owner, we have to examine the people that work for us or that work with us or the people we get involved with, whether it's a partnership, whether it's vendors, whether it's any relationship we have to examine those people. We have to make sure that they're in the right positions to succeed. We have to make sure that they have the right attitude in the business. If they're a bad apple and they have a wrong attitude, you got to get rid of them. Most people are scared to do that for two reasons. Number one, that person has a bad attitude that's high maintenance because they produce a lot of sales or they produce in that position. They're afraid to let them go. So the owners allow that to happen because of how much they bring to the table. I think that's a mistake because at the end, you're going to lose more good people than you are going to keep them. So no matter what, I don't make decisions on people based on money. I make decisions on people based on their value. That includes a lot of things, their attitude, their work ethic, how they speak, how they communicate with people, their relationship, how they interact with people. To me, that's more important because I could work with them and develop them to be a lot more productive and a lot more value because I'm not going to allow the environment in my business to be infiltrated and destroyed in an unpleasant environment to work in because of one or two bad apples. I'm just not going to do it. And I'm not afraid of lawsuits. I'm in Texas. This is the right to work state. I don't need a reason to fire people. If they don't live up to what I think they should be doing, I get rid of them, plain and simple. That's also part of starving out your distractions because they become a distraction. Again, it's not about money for me. It's about people. It's about value. Money will always come if I have valuable people. That makes sense. The next thing you need to examine that I always do in my business is the values of how I live my life and the principles. Because the way we are as people in our personal life is the way we're going to be in our business life. There's no ways around. You can't have two characters. Some people try that. And it's a hard thing to do because you're never going to be true to one or the other. And here's what I mean is, if I have a client that's committing adultery, whether it's a woman or male, if they're not faithful to their spouse, they will cheat me as a customer. They will cheat their people. And if you are that way and you are an entrepreneur and a business owner, you will cheat your people. You will cheat your vendor. You will find a way to cheat without you realizing it because of the values and the principles that you live by in your personal life will affect the values and the principles of your life, of your business life. And let me give you an example. You look at these politicians. Some of them have good intentions before they get into office. But when they get into office, they start to compromise. They're not really strong in their values and their principles because now they got caught up into power, into money, into knowing they have control over people, even though the people elected them to serve them. But that's the reality of it. And if you're not fundamentally strong in your values and in your principles, you will always compromise. You will always fall for anything. And that's going to be detrimental to your business. Maybe not immediately, but down the road in the long term in the picture, it will, because you will start getting exposed by your reputation. So you got to examine the values of your business. You got to examine the principle and how you're going to work your business so that you could stay focused, so that you could stay grounded on the foundation of your values and principles and how you live. Because your business is an extension of who you are personally. There's no ways around that. You may want to ignore it, but I live in the real world. And so I'm always examining my values and my principles. Next thing is, here's the bottom line, guys. When the smoke clears, all the material wealth you may have, all the accomplishments you may receive or have accomplished, all the things that you have and that you do don't mean squat if you don't examine your word and your character. Because at the end of the day, what people will remember you by and what people will talk about is your word and your character. Not how much money you make, not how much wealth you have, not what you did for this and did for that. They're going to remember you. They're going to remember me by our word and our character. So you have to always examine, is your word matching your actions? Because remember, your actions are tied to your thoughts. And your thoughts, when you speak it, will take action. So if you're contradictive in what you say by your actions, that starts to build the wrong character. And I'm ashamed to say, but I'm going to be honest, I wasn't always with good character. But I had to fall many times and humbled and change my ways. And I would never compromise on my word or my character, because I don't care what anybody thinks. Whether I'm making a lot of money or not, or whether I have fancy cars or not, whether I live in a mansion or not, that's nobody's business. What I care about is my word and my character. And I examine that every single day, because at the end, if my word doesn't matter, nothing else matters. Because that's what people are going to remember. And they're also going to remember now when things are going well. They're going to remember you. They're going to look at you. They're going to be watching you, how you deal with problems. Because problems, adversity, situations, and trials and problems reveal your character. It also builds your character. Think about that. Examine your word, your character, because it is attached to your business. You are the extension of your business. There's no ways around that. Okay? And then the next one is leadership. There's a lot of books on leadership, and I think people get confused with what leadership is. Here's what leadership is to me, and I'm going to do a 4-part series on what leadership really is. To me, in simple terms, a leader is a servant of the people that they hire. The wisest one in the group, the wisest one in the company or amongst the people is the one that's supposed to serve the others. And as a leader, your leadership skills has to be about developing other leaders in your company. They have to be servant to the customers, to whoever they're in contact with, to whoever they're working with. And if everyone's a leader and everyone's serving one another, it's easier to get on the same page. So you as a leader, you have to make sure that you're teaching people by your example that they have to lead other people. And the first person they have to lead is themselves. Leadership is about taking you out of the equation and making it about others. Not fulfilling your ego and being prideful like your shit don't stink. You got to examine that. That's important. We're lacking leadership, and people are being led by the wrong leaders. And that's why there's a sheep mentality, a lot of sheep to slaughter. If I'm not helping my people become better than when they first joined me, then I'm not being a good leader. It's just that simple. So are you examining your leadership skill? You have to do that. Does that make sense? And then finally is vision. Are you examining your vision? So here's what happens. Sometimes entrepreneurs and business owners, when they first start their business, they really have good intentions. They have a mission statement. They have these goals. They have all these good words that they use, but it's conflicting with who they are. And what happens is they start to get a little success. They start to get pumped up or puffed up. They start to become prideful and egotistical because money gives you power. And there's a saying, give man power, you're going to see what he or she's all about. Because you see, whether you got $1 or $100 million, it shouldn't change your character. It just changes your life. It just changes that you could do more. But it shouldn't change who you are. And leadership exposes that. Your vision should be the same once it's accomplished. And you got to get people to buy into a vision that's going to benefit them. Because everyone wants to be on a winning team, right? And it takes leadership to build a winning team where everybody has to sacrifice and make commitments for the benefit of one another. It's not about competing with each other. It's about collaborating, getting better at your skill, seeing the vision, being part of the vision, taking ownership of that part of the vision. And that starts with the leader. That starts with the entrepreneur. That starts with you, the business owner, me, the business owner. Because if you don't have vision, people will perish. That's just a fact. Does that make sense? So ask yourself, are you examining your vision? And is your vision consistent with when you first started? Think about it. Does that make sense? So I hope this has been helpful, guys. I want to thank you for those of you who are watching this video and being part of my channel. I do appreciate you guys. Again, if you're watching this, hit the subscription button below. Tap the notification, share your comments. Let me know what you think and let me know if it was helpful. Let me know what your comments are so that I can address it and learn from it as well. Because listen, I'm always learning. I'm always looking to get better. I don't know everything. I'm just sharing with you what I do that helps me. And I try to cut all the fat. I try to cut all the nuances and just get right to the meat and potatoes, get back to the basic so that you could build a strong foundation. Does that make sense? So again, I want to thank you for being part of the Paul Cruz Show. The Paul Cruz Sales Agency. I'm sorry, because I'm rebranding my podcast. So, where sales do happen. Again, remember this, guys, examine your business, examine the cause and effects of your business, examine your mindset, your attitude, examine who you are. And correct what you could correct, examine your selling process, examine your leads and how you get leads, examine people, examine your values and your principles, examine your word and your character, make sure it's solid, make sure it's strong, examine your leadership skill, make it better, make a conscious effort to become a better leader. You can make improvements on it. Examine your vision every day, make people part of that vision, make it their vision, let them take ownership. A leader is a giver. A leader is a servant of that vision. Does that make sense? And if you can examine these things, these 10 principles, these 10 values, not only is your business going to grow, your people going to grow, your people going to become more valuable. You're going to become more valuable. People are going to want to be part of your business, part of your environment. People are going to want to be part of your vision to help your business grow. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that what it's all about? And then money and profits will come. Does that make sense? Anyway, guys, thank you for your time. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Till we speak again, I say goodbye for now. This is Paul Cruz with the Paul Cruz Sales Agency. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.